stop screen sharing until the Hangout is live. Hello, everyone. Okay, we're in a pair programming. Right now, it's just Matt, Joseph, and myself. I wanted to tell a little bit about testing the backends. And Joseph just asked me prior to the live stream, you're kind of lost, missing the big picture, and you want to know the purpose of the backend. Is that correct? And I had some trouble to answer that question because it's very, very broad. So I thought maybe I'll just go explain what I'm working on with Ishin 106. Is that okay, Joseph?
Yeah. Oh.
Right. So let me be the driver for now. If you want, the pull request I'm working on is this one. No, this one. So the branch you can check out is 106_authorization. And where the backend has the very same responsibility as the backend in RFM, right? It just provides data. And we want to, for example, authorization. Authorization means once you know which user requested a resource, you want to check if he is allowed to do so, right? So authentication and authorization, they go by hand. Authentication means who are you? And authorization means are you allowed to do something, right? And of course, we want to check authorization on the server because on the browser, users can do pretty much anything to bypass security measures, right? So anything which is in the browser, which prevents you from doing things, is just a convenience feature, not like a security feature, right?
Yeah, and also I remember you had requested me to review a pull request, but then when I saw it, it had already been merged. I guess. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't able to review that.
Do you know which pull request that was?
Let me. It was merged recently. I wanted to review, but then got merged. Maybe got closed.
I'm on closed. I will sort by recently updated. JWT strategy.
Yeah, was your. That's not yours, is it?
It's
Was
from
it?
Dash.
Yeah, it was your PR. It was your pull request.
Ah. Can we see who submitted the?
Yeah.
Oh. Where can you see who's, or you can just,
Like
here, buy.
Yeah.
So there we go. So Thunderbird, so that was my last one. And
I think it's 8 days ago.
this
Yeah.
one maybe?
Yeah. Maybe open that. Either of those two.
You can filter by author.
Oh yeah, you were. I pinged you.
Yeah.
So what's the issue here? Oh no, I clicked one time too much. Oh yeah. No, I don't really understand what's going on here. I think this is the first test setup that we have. Oh yeah, so this is doing the first part of the test setup, where I also spawn a different server. So if you, for example, go to the package JSON here, you see we have a new script. We are not using Mocha anymore. We're using Jest now, and this here is starting a server which doesn't have permissions enabled. So let's check out that file. So here you can see this is a NPM feature. So if you have a group called config and you have a variable called no-auth, then you can use this syntax. You say $npm_package_config, and then underscore and the name of your config. So basically this gets pasted. This gets pasted into here. So you have cross environment, GraphQL URI, GraphQL port, permissions disabled. And that's pasted up here. And if you run p is another package that can run several NPM scripts in parallel. So we have start and we have test command jest. This start thing is starting a server, and test command jest is running the tests, right?
Yeah.
Why do we need the server? We need the server for creating records in the database. We need them. We need for our factories. So, for example, here we have create user and then clean database, and we do it for every test. So we always have a user called test@example.org with a password 1234. So prior to the test, we send a request to the server, and the server it doesn't have permissions enabled, so everyone can create users. And then we test our actual server, which is another one, and we're expecting if we log in with the right credentials, then we expect we get a valid JSON JWT token, this one here, and we verify it, and that should be all okay. It should have the email, and the errors should be null, right? So everything was right. So this is like our test action, given that we have this user in the database. And if we log in with something else, oh man, this is really hard to see. I just say view file. So I think that's better, right? Right. So asking for a token, given we have a valid email password combination, everything is going fine. With an incorrect email address, valid email but incorrect password will tell us incorrect email address or password. With a non-existing mail, same error. All right?
Yeah.
So this way we also test that we get the same error message given the email is incorrect or the password is incorrect. You cannot tell if an email, this doesn't expose existing emails in the database, all right?
Okay.
And I had the problem now that brings us, that's the perfect transition to branch 106. This setup here, the setup with the package JSON is a little bit problematic because we are disabling the permissions, like everyone can create users and everyone is allowed to access all the attributes. We're disabling this here with a list of environment variables, right? The problem is we are running these two things in parallel. This is starting the test server. This is starting a server which we need in order to create factories, which is fine. We don't want the permissions, but this one also creates a server, and there we want to test our permissions, right? Because in 106 we have the problem, given we have a user, we request the email address of that user. We want to see the email address, but instead we get a not authorized error. Although we are authenticated, and this is our own email address, right? Does that make sense? And I can show you how the test now looks like. So if you go to branch 106, and then you have the Go away. I cannot move away this strange. Do you see the window at the very bottom of my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can hide that.
Click hide.
Yeah, but I cannot. It doesn't have. It doesn't makes no difference.
Okay, it's fine now. We can't see it. We can
Yeah.
barely see it. That's
So we have. Yeah, we have our setup here. We are testing authorization. I'm saying, let's say we have two users. We have the owner at example.org and we have someone at example.org, right? With the password I'm the owner and the other one has password else. Someone else, right?
Yeah.
Now, then we want to access the email address. That's our query here. So that's equivalent to what we see in the user story. Just not that we're not interested into the name. That's the only thing that's missing here. So we're just taking our email and we just want to have the email of owner@example.org. It's a little bit strange that you're requesting an email that you already have, but it's enough to reproduce the error, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, when you're not logged in, obviously, it should not expose the owner's email address. So you try to access the request, and then you see not authorized, and the email is null. There is no email in the response. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
You're probably interested what is actually action. Action is a method or a function. It's specified here. So we have an async function. It's accepting some headers. Then it's creating a graph client with these headers, and it's requesting it. So the headers, what are the headers? The headers are initially they're empty. Further down, we have our helper method saying authenticated headers. What is authenticated headers? Authenticated headers comes from just helpers. And it's sending a request to the backend prior to the whole thing, logging in and getting the token and returning an object that you can paste into your as HTTP headers. It's very similar to what you do here. So here are our HTTP headers. We have authorization, BIRA, then space, and then the JWT token. And this is a valid JWT token here, right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I run it now, it works. Really?
Can you change the?
But we have 2 times this user. So apparently it works. Did I change something in the backend? Let me see. Yeah, so this is new. Exactly. So this is the fix that Greg has provided. Okay, git stash. Here's my backend. Now back to the previous state. And not authorized error. And now I apply the stash again. We have the code back in our the server, and there we go. Nice.
Wow. Awesome.
So let
Cool.
me see the code. So the code is
That's the code.
query.
Let me do one thing first. I'm going to say add CI on Travis. It's our CI server file. And this is, in fact, fixing the bug. So I'm going to say fix 106. Oops. Thank you. App Interactive. Ta-da. What else do we have? GitHub emoji, cheat sheet. Maybe gift heart. Yeah, that's nice. Gift heart. For your interest, Catchulio1 at WR18. All right. Now, what has happened? Huh? Huh? Oh, yeah, it's in the user middleware. All right. So Greg has sent me a message through Discord, and he found out how we can fix this problem. It's here. It's in coding EN. And he pasted the code here, so you can check out. So what's going on? The problem is that in our permissions middleware, we are checking, we have isOwner, and that is a method that gets called for every request that is requesting the user. And you're only allowed to see your password or your email. Do we see the password? Do we really see the password? No way. So you see a number of asterisks. Oh, I really found it funny. Did you see this? Password. There's the password middleware. Yeah. So here you can see how the password is obscured and every time someone's requesting it. And what I really found funny is that there's a small typo. It's he spelled it with X, and it's actually SK. Do you know Asterix?
Yeah.
So I was a little bit tempted to say replace password with Asterix and Obelix. Sorry for that joke.
Nice.
Should I be mean?
I think it would be educational, not mean. People are like, wait, what does he mean by that? And then
Okay.
Joseph, I think, with issues with his connection because he dropped off.
Oh no. Yeah, replace password with asterisk and Obelix.
Nice.
See the link. App Interactive. Smile. Or since I have the emoji cheat sheet. Laugh. Nothing. I hope I hope Greg can doesn't find this offensive.
Yeah. I'd hope not as well.
Okay. Anyhow, yeah. So what's going on? We have a couple of middlewares. The middlewares are exported here, and the middlewares are used in this in this file, GraphQL schema, and we. Oh, where is it? Server. Oh yeah, server.js. Server.js. It's importing middleware. And then we put in the schema, and middleware is just a function that's iterating through all the middlewares and checking one by one, right? The first thing that's happening is, unless the permissions are disabled, the permissions middleware is checking the schema or the request as you wish, right? So it's going just through each of those middlewares one by one. It's first hitting the permissions middleware. And then it's checking, are we requesting the user with some black magic? This black magic is called shield and comes from GraphQL shield, right? And in here you can say which resources should be protected and how. So we have the user, and the email is protected only for the owner. And what is the meaning of owner? Is owner means it's accepting a callback, and this callback has the signature. Parent is the record that you're requesting.
Yep.
And context is a context that you get from, for example, from the authentication.
Yeah.
So it has also the user. The user is coming from the decrypted JWT token. So that's our user who is authenticated.
Is it like JWT decode or something?
Yeah. It's you can see it here. It's also in server.js. So context is this one here. This is the context that gets later passed to the permission middleware. So we have this is what's getting included. So we have the driver, that's the Neo4j database connection. Then we have the user, which is null, and unless we can successfully decrypt the JWT token. And then we set payload.user. That's where it comes from. And we have also our request. And that's it. Okay?
Yeah.
So the decrypted, so user is not nil if you have an authenticated user and you can successfully decrypt the JWT token. So that's your authenticated user who's doing the request. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So that's this one here.
Dropped off again, but yeah, that makes sense.
And
because you want to be able to people to be able to fake back a response to JWT token. So
yeah, the JWT token depends on a secret, and you can see the secret here. So that's coming from the environment variable, and you're not supposed to expose this secret to the public. Yeah. The secret is, of course, it's currently checked into the repository for your local machine to make things easier. It's here. So we have the .env file, and there you have the JWT secret. That's the same for, that's like from the template. The template matches the JWT token also on the front end. Right? So that's necessary in order to be able to log in. Okay, cool. And parent is the record that is that's coming out of the database. So this query here is requesting only password, or well, only email. And the problem was that only email was included in the record that was coming out of the database. There was no ID. So this was null. I can show it to you. I'll just say console log parent. And we just check out temporarily. Check out this commit. Right, so this is one commit ahead. Is our server still running? Yes, it is. And if we do this, yeah, so, oh, we have to stash first and then say git checkout. Now we're detached. Yes. Okay. And the bug fix is gone, hopefully. No. Why? Oh, yeah. Because we checked out the wrong commit. Now the bug fix is gone. We say git -apply. We see this console log statement. Now, when I do the next request, we get the authorization error. Boom. And we see what's in the payload. No, not what's in the payload, what's in the parent.
Yeah.
So it's only, you see only what is requested by the client. And the server can only check attributes that were requested by the client. Because the library or the framework is doing some kind of magic to translate the GraphQL query into a Neo4j Cypher query. And since the client only asked for the email, only the email is present on the server at the time when the server's trying to check if the user is the owner.
Yeah, and so the parent ID doesn't exist in the response.
Yeah, and that was the bug, and it was successfully reproduced with a test. So, for example, if I run the test now, on run test jest, then I see exactly one test case failing. So this is what I was working on for about a week.
I really like your approach to like writing tests to debug it.
Say it again.
I really like your approach at like writing tests to uncover and then fix the bugs.
Yeah, that's how you have to do it, right? If you don't do it, if you just provide the fix, you will never know. Okay, really fixed that particular problem, and it's gone for the future because we have a test for it, and the test is always checking that it's not there. And I put in 1 week or so. Well, I have the feeling that I was putting in 1 week just for the backend testing because it was so hard to debug it, and I ran into so many errors that were sometimes not related to my bug or were related to my Node environment, right? So yesterday I was debugging a problem with Node spawn. So here we have spawn, and we are spawning that server and the Cedar server. The Cedar server has permissions disabled, and that took me a while because Node with Node env, that was what I was previously using in order to switch versions, spawned more subprocesses than I could kill, right? So here on the teardown, I want to kill these apps. And that killed the subprocesses that I spawned, but Node env spawned more than that. So you had some Node processes remaining as a leftover. To find out that this is related to Node env and it's only present on my setup, my own machine, that took me a day. And here you can see sometimes it's also worth to debug in the Docker container. I did everything locally, right? I didn't do it on the Docker container. On the Docker container, I wouldn't have that problem because on the Docker container, I have only one version of Node, and that's it, and no Node env. So if I had tried to reproduce that problem on the Docker container, I would probably that could have saved me a day.
Yeah.
Right?
It's difficult to track down, like you're saying, like about earlier in the meeting, about how people using different OSs and different Node versions and different Yarn versions, everything differently. It's difficult sometimes to track down exactly where it's coming from,
It's exactly. It is a mess. It is terrible. It has a lot of frustration. I had a headache the whole day, and I think that's because the last few days I was always staying up late until 3 a.m. in the morning until I finally gave up and got frustrated. Or I got up until 3 a.m. because just an hour ago I was able to fix the problem and I wanted to, now I know how to do it. And now I want to develop the rest and the whole night because I was finally having a breakthrough. But that's not good for yourself. So
No.
It's better to have a good biorhythm. Do you say that in English? So you have a regular schedule when you get up and when you go to bed.
Yeah, I'm not so great at that. I mean, just I go to bed kind of late in general. I was dealing with some bugs and testing like yesterday, and but I didn't stay up till 3 in the morning. Like I stayed up just until I kept working on it until like 11, and then I just.
Yeah. So this dictionary here is translating it literally to biorhythm.
Biorhythm, yeah. I think it's like more like is it like body clock or something?
Body clock, yeah. Body clock is probably better. Yeah, so this was it, and I'm very glad that we have this branch fixed. The only thing that I would be interested in, okay, cool, it is fixed, but why? And I didn't understand each and everything, but we have the fix. It's Joseph is back with us. Hi, Joseph.
Yeah.
I was thinking if you came back to us. You managed to do so. Cool. So now I haven't seen the fix, but now I'm contemplating about why this is fixing the problem. So what is happening here? So we have a query for the user, and then we have two local variables. ID is ID present. Remove ID from result. ID is present. Find info field notes. What the heck? Selection set selections.
Yeah, that's not really clear what that's doing without like hacking into it.
And then it's checking for an item name with a value ID. Mm-hmm. Then is ID present? Okay, so apparently this only happens if the ID is not set by the query already. So we are reaching this if statement if the client did not request the ID. So now Greg is telling us add ID to request as the user I did not ask what we needed. You should have better said as the client, not asked what we needed. But I'm also okay to say as the user did not ask what we needed. So info field notes, so that's probably this one up here. And then we have selection set, selections unshift. That is, unshift is JavaScript for put at the beginning of the array. So selections apparently is an array.
Wait, so you're saying you need to add the ID because the user did not ask for the ID, so you're sending the, so you need it. What, I don't understand.
Yeah, so the difference is if the client, so here I'm the client, if I request the ID, it has an effect on how the server is doing authorization. So when I request the ID and the email, the server can successfully authorize my request and give me the email. But if I leave out the ID, then the server doesn't have the ID for comparing the authenticated user with the user that I'm requesting. Does it make sense?
This ID you are requesting is for the user's email that you're going to get, right?
Yeah, my goal is to get the email. But I get an authorization error if I don't add ID.
Okay.
And that's strange, right? The client should not know how the server does authorization. That's an implementation detail.
Mm-hmm.
Now the fix.
You want to check like you want to check while it's still in the request if the person is the authorized and then include the, well, you don't actually just put the ID and then it'll check if that person is authorized to receive the email or not.
Yeah, we just need the ID for authorization, even though the client didn't request it.
Wait, the ID is yours or the client's?
Say it again.
The ID that the client, so when you go to the server, when you request the ID, you're saying, give me all the usernames in the database, email in the database, and also bring me the ID, right?
So this means I'm requesting the user resource, all the user resources that have an email with user@example.org. And if you return the users, give me their email address. Which is a little bit awkward because we already have the email address here.
Yeah.
That's just for filtering. We could also say name Jenny Rostock. You could filter for the name, for example, and then get the email address of Jenny Rostock.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was a bit confusing there. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I know the email address, but I want to see it.
Yeah, maybe we can change the test. So the test could also specify that's all right. We could also add something more. Owner. And
yeah, maybe not instead of more, like instead of, because it's
like this. And then we put in here name owner.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's possible.
Yeah.
The test should still pass. One moment. Yeah. Should be okay. Oh. Okay. Why?
Did you check out the latest branch, or you're working on the?
Yeah, actually, yes. The fix is here.
Oh yeah.
Is that the only place you're using that request?
What do you mean by that?
In the test, that's the only request. Is in that line 28?
Yeah. So this is the method that is used by all the tests.
Okay. Yeah.
If I change that method, it has an effect on all the 3 tests.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the owner is the same thing. And maybe I have an idea. So if we create our user, no, the name is passed to create user. Name, find name, params. This should actually work. Okay, too bad.
So does it work in the playground?
Yeah, the seeds are now gone because they get deleted all the time. Seed.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, nice. Address already in use. Huh? What? No way. Web node. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh,
What's happened?
you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So after I have, it means that this is not yet working. We have some processes hanging around.
Uh,
I don't know why. Does it help if I wait until the resources are not available anymore? Now they are gone. I run the tests now. Uh-huh. Very interesting. Very interesting.
right. So the tests are passing. It was just a matter of those node.
Yeah, but this is the problem I had
Yeah.
earlier because of all the node processes that are hanging around. So I'm going to remove this await on something and run the test again and hope that we don't have any node subprocesses hanging around. No? So what was the matter? What was the matter? All is fine. Are you kidding me? Strange. Really strange.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, but at least this is making it's still failing. And in order to check, we changed the test. So what I would usually do now is to make a so-called mutant testing to check if the test setup is actually correct, right? What do you mean? What do I mean by that? Joseph, do you already know what I'm aiming for?
To check what? What did you say?
What is a mutation test?
A mutation test.
Yes.
So you want to check if something is mutating?
Like when you say mutation, are you referring to like the GraphQL mutations, or is it just happens to be
No,
the same?
I'm not. This happens to be the same.
Yeah,
So
it seems like in the context you're trying to make a test that's different than the test that you've written to get it to fail, so that you can like prove that the test that it's not just passing for no reason.
Exactly. That's the point. So I want the test to fail. I want to destroy something, and I want the test to fail. I want this test that I just refactored to fail
In a predictable way.
Yeah. How can I do that? Joseph, how can I make this test fail? This test here.
That one.
Yes.
You could not. You want to make it fail how? So that like anyhow.
The problem is the tests are now passing, but how do I know that the tests are passing for no reason? The tests are not passing for no reason.
Yeah, they're passing for the right reason.
So they something. So why you want to know which tests are passing for no reason? Like example, do you want to not to a zona? You want to make that fail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can go back to the code and here You can just change the email that you're passing there.
Yeah, but I'm actually, this test is here to test that this fix is working correctly, right?
Yeah.
And to make sure that the test is doing its job, I would just remove the fix.
Could you pass in a different ID to the request?
Or I just remove the whole code like that. That would be my way of doing it. Just
Because you
remove code.
knew it was failing before without that fix.
Yeah, that was the situation how it was before. The code looked, and it's still what the.
Still passing.
So this is not what I'm. This is not what should happen.
This is why this is why you believe in doing mutation testing, is because sometimes it's passing for inexplicable reasons.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The test is passing.
Yeah. And it shouldn't.
No, at least all of them shouldn't, because they're like testing the opposites.
Yeah, I mean, it's passing because you changed the test instead of asking for.
Now I'm checking if.
You're still requesting the email, right? But you're just doing it by name instead of by.
Yeah.
But are you looking for the user with name owner and requesting the email?
Yeah.
Can you put that the way it was before?
Sure. I think it was like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then owner.
Yeah, owner at email. I think it was email. It was not name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
So now even the problem now might be email.
Still passing.
Everything's passing.
Okay, I think this is getting a long night.
Yeah.
Ah!
You're probably thinking about the other, like.
Okay, do you know what? I will revert everything back, and it will be your task now. I'm kind of give up. I have to go to the supermarket anyway, so this is a nice break for me now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to revert this, and I will push the latest 5 commits upstream. Expect the test to be less confusing. Fix typo. CI probably exit if seeding phase. Yeah, that's looking nice. So I'm going to push that. And it will be now your task to make this test bulletproof. Okay? Where do we have it? You see you see the problem, right? I want the test to pass if the bug fix is there, and I want the test to fail if the bug fix is gone.
How do you know that the bug fix is, like, are you assuming that this bug fix is working because you before the tests were failing and now and then you added it and the tests were passing?
I think why the tests are passing is because you did like a seed. When was the last time you seeded the database?
The seeds are always deleted when the tests and the development environment are using the same database. So when I run the seeds and I run the tests, the database will be cleaned afterwards.
But then when you run this test, you're saying that what it does is it actually seeds the database before it runs the test.
It seeds only it's only creating the factories that it's using. So
Yeah,
we want
okay.
to have 2 user profiles in the database in this scenario here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want. We want to test if you're not authenticated, and if you are authenticated as a different user, and if you're authenticated as the one to whom the email belongs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Good. I will probably have a break.
I think I have. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have a break.
Your screen sharing stop. Okay, and I will go to the supermarket and do something else.
Yes, it's good.
I was making this bulletproof and doing all the test setup in the last week, and it yeah, I'm done with it for now.
You sometimes need a bit of a break, and also like activity is important as well. Like we're sitting down a lot, and it can be that like on your way but to and from the supermarket, like either we can take steps forward, or you can stimulate your brain in a different way and have ideas, and come back, and then it becomes more obvious what you can do.
Yes, that's a good idea. All right, I'm stopping the broadcast. I think when I leave the Hangout, since I'm the one who started it, once I leave the Hangout, the whole Hangout stops. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. But we can start a new one.
Yeah, you can start a new one and just
it's
put
better,
it online.
probably better that way, anyways, because then they stay shorter. If people want to get caught up on it, they don't have to
Right. Okay. Cool. Well then, I'll stop the broadcast, and we see each other maybe this evening later, but I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, and good luck.
Yeah. You as well. Thank you.
Bye.